I might have all good people, all great processes, and wonderful technology, but nobody knows what to do with all that.
So why do we do cybersecurity?
Now look at all the breaches in last decade plus. All the companies that have been breached have all the compliances in place.
True.
Then why are we doing compliance? The risk has been elevated to a different level altogether. It's a risk of life, risk of social reputation, risk that you can now recover from.
So many customers struggling with GRC. You guys talk about something called automated GRC. I have never heard this term before.
The real way of doing compliance is to really actually check the pulse on what's going on.
So let's say I come to Dr. Ahluwalia's clinic and I tell him that, Lalit, I have an overstack of technologies and I love DigitalXForce. How can you help me optimize this stack and reduce my operating expenditures? Hello and welcome to today's exciting episode of Spire Connect powered by Spire Solutions, where innovation meets conversation. And I have been excited about this conversation since the last 2 days. And what is the reason for that? Most of the people, when they buy a solution, they are looking for an ROI. What if I tell you, you do not buy this solution, let the ROI come to you and then you pay me? Or what if I talk to you about escape rooms with a digital twist? All this and more in today's episode with Lalit Ahluwalia, CEO and founder of DigitalXForce.
Hi, this is Lalit Ahluwalia. I'm the founder and the CEO of DigitalXForce, and you're watching Spire Connect.
So we are Studio IT and we are the official podcasting partner for Spire Solutions for Spire Connect. What do you have to say about your experience with us?
So thank you, YT, for really doing this. I really appreciate not just the dialogue, but an opportunity to really exchange some of the things we are doing. I really appreciate the forums like what you are providing here to connect the dots. It's really important, what we do is not only exchange, but also communicate it properly. And you as a communication media really like broadcasting to the people, and connecting the dots are a very important pillar of the journey, what we take. So thank you for doing this.
So Lalit, so many exciting things. Which one do you want to start with?
Anything and everything, but I would probably say let's start with why do we do cybersecurity.
Okay, so why do we do cybersecurity?
So in the world of digitization or the digital transformation, imagine the transformation that we're really seeing. If this was back in the days when we didn't have access to any digital systems and assets and data, we won't need any cybersecurity, would we?
Sure.
Just 30 years back, none of my grandparents or stuff heard about anything cybersecurity. Neither they have any digital assets, neither they have. Fast forward, we're talking about smart self-driving cars, smart cities, remote healthcare.
Yeah.
Soon we're going to have robotic maids at our houses. All this is telling you that we already are living in the digital ecosystem, which is only fast adopting. And look around you with AI and everything else, what's going on? Now, as things are now getting digitized, so is the risk of living in the digital world, just like risk of living in the physical world. For centuries, we've been living as humankind, but we still need physical security. Now we start living in the digital world, so we need digital security. And hence why cybersecurity and why cybersecurity has become not only the core, but the must to really survive in the digital world.
So what exactly are you and your exceptional team doing at DigitalXForce?
Now we talked about why do we do cybersecurity. Now, if we do cybersecurity, because there's a risk, and that's what I'm mitigate.
Yes.
We didn't really see anything that was bringing the risk dimension to the forefront. For example, I deployed all these 10 technologies. Great. I asked you, show me the risk. You'll show me your compliance report.
So people assumed risk as compliance.
That's what has been going on. Now look at all the breaches in last decade plus. All the companies that have been breached have all the compliances in place. True? Then why are we doing compliance? If you're still going to get breached, I'm sorry, then we are wasting your time, energy, and money. And the whole purpose of doing cybersecurity, bringing all the technologies, which I said was a managed risk, you never really got me an answer to that. Do you see a gap now there? And we started DigitalXForce to really fill in the gap.
Till now, compliance was always a checklist. An audit with NC reports, right? Non-compliant reports where you go and fix. And even ISOs and all these people, they made it so easy that you can pick and choose which parts you want to get compliant with and still market yourself as, oh, I am ISO 27001 compliant type. Now, you guys talk about something called automated GRC. I have never heard this term before, and I know so many customers struggling with GRC. Can you elaborate what is automated GRC?
Absolutely. So let's first demystify why compliance, the way we've been doing compliance. So let's take a simple day-to-day analogy. Let's say you want to apply for being a pilot or in the army, or let's say I want to like climb the Mount Everest. Of course, you will not do any of that without getting a proper health certificate.
Yeah.
You come to me, Dr. Lalit Ahluwalia, I need a certificate to really do this. Fair enough, I'll ask you a bunch of questions. Do you go to gym? Do you feel healthy? Do you like, eat well? Do you do this? And based on that, try to give you a certificate. Of course, your objective is very simple. I want to either get Everest or want to do. What will you do? You would answer me the answers that I want to hear so that I can get
The certificate.
Now I give you a certificate and you go. Now you start climbing Mount Everest. Halfway through, the certificate is no good anymore because
I'm dead.
that certificate didn't really help you, did it?
Yeah.
On the other hand, you came to me, my office, and I actually did your vitals. Let me let your blood pressure reading. Let me your cholesterol reading. Let me see that. And if there are some things not in proper condition, but risk is manageable, I will actually do the continuous monitoring of that. So that when you reach the stages, I alert you. Wouldn't that be really the right way of doing risk management?
Indeed.
That's what's not happening today in the digital ecosystem. People are relying on this qualitative, point in time, data-driven methods like, where I give you a bunch of data, some evidence, and I'm compliant.
Yes.
Whereas the real way of doing compliance is to really actually check the pulse on what's going on. Interrogate the technologies you brought in to manage the risk. Are they really effectively managing the risk? Are they really doing the work? Or they're just there? You and I are sitting here. Who's watching our homes? Probably you have security cameras at home.
Yeah.
How do you know all the security cameras are all the right doors and windows? Maybe all the cameras are at the front doors, nothing at the back door. What if they are on the doors and windows? But by the time they send alerts, it's 30 minutes. This is the misconception, or yes, I have a technology A, here's the evidence, is not filling the gap. We need to do like real-time, continuous, what we call is the definition of trust. Cybersecurity, we all know, confidentiality, integrity, availability. We've been studying this for 30 years. Whoever has CISSP certificate,
Yes.
knows this. But in today's world, let's say I had somebody, Pankaj, go to San Francisco or Austin, go a self-driving car, the Waymo's. When you sit in the car, would you be comfortable like that, do the compliance assessment of that car, or would you be comfortable seeing the risk score of the car when the car is in motion?
Indeed. Seeing the risk score is far more better.
Which GRC systems today are doing that? The need of the hour, the risk has been elevated to a different level altogether. It's a risk of life, risk of social reputation, risk that you can now recover from. I can financially be breached and still, or can be data be breached and I can recover. But you cannot be breached with your life, and recover. You see, the methods have to now evolve to really bring that dimension of trust, which is real-time, continuous, and automated. Also understanding with the G and R component. Governance is all about what could be a risk, why is it a risk, who is supposed to do this, and what are my thresholds. You and both have a, let's say, Audi as a car.
Yeah.
You might buy like an insurance policy with $1,000 deductible because you can afford 5 other Audis. I might have put all my life earning into this one car and I cannot afford to spend more. So my appetite is only $100 deductible. Depending on the scenario, my risk appetite is different. $10 million home versus $100 million home, different risk. What country you live in, different kind of risk. The risk is changing. So you've got to understand what from the governance and then do the risk management. Compliance should be an outcome from there. We've been doing the reverse. We go with the checklist, get the data, dump the artifacts, Game on.
And I think a key reason for this is the consulting companies that we work with at times, because there's a popular analogy which says, why do you need a consultant? So I already know I am breachable, but I need a consultant to tell me that I am breachable.
I like to differ a little bit on that. There was a time growing up, I remember when we were going from place A to place B, like a city B, we'll stop at every corner and ask people, hey, tell me the directions.
Yes.
They will tell me, oh yeah, go to this house, go to this house, or take this turn.
The left, yeah.
Then came, which is the printer maps.
Yes.
Then there was a time we got this in navigation devices, Tom Garmin's and stuff. Now we're living in the age of Google Maps and Waze. It tells you exactly where the live traffic is, where the jams are and everything. Means the technology has evolved. There was not this technology back 25 years back. The whatever technology have evolved has allowed us to bring that. 20 years back, when the standard GRC or the frameworks were thought through, the methods were not, technologies were not available. That's not the case today. But we've been so used to now doing the same thing over and over again that we don't want to change. So we are just bringing a change by leveraging the power of technology and the methods available now. It was not the doing of the consulting company. They didn't know any better or could do any better because of the limitations, so they did best. But now we have those things in hand. Should we still continue doing the same?
You are here in GITEX for the first time. What is special about the presence of DigitalXForce at GITEX this year?
You know, if you really ask me, the DigitalXForce is on a mission to really help clients understand what could be a risk while delivering the compliance outcomes. We don't want you to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours writing policies, plans, compliance reports, because that's mundane, it's boring, nobody wants to do that. If we automated all the risk management and deliver the compliance, obviously is a game off. But our mission is to really kind of like, we really believe in the digital ecosystem. We truly and genuinely can make an impact. Whether it's North America, where we headquarter and base, whether it's Europe, whether it's Middle East, whether it's APAC. Now, forums like GITEX allow us to showcase the power of the technology and the platform to different places. I'm actually doing a tech talk later. And just to correct, this is my second GITEX. So last year and this year. But it's been quite a journey. From last year to this year, we have some of the key marquee clients, some of the big name brands that are actually now trusting DigitalXForce to really bring this risk management to the live portion management while automating compliance. And we want to really bring that message home and take it like to more and more clients, to the community overall. Because you cannot say like UAE and Middle East doesn't need risk management.
Yeah.
It's only a thing of North America. That's where presence at GITEX for us is important. This is the reason why partnership with like Spire for us is so important, because we cannot be everywhere ourselves. We need a network that really take us to the ecosystem. And thanks to Spire, we've been able to now make good leaps, whether it's in UAE, whether it's in Saudi, whether it's in Qatar, Oman, Bahrain. It would not have been possible without forums like this and the partnerships like Spire.
Amazing. You mentioned about DigitalXForce, and a lot of people who come from a technical background are obsessed with dashboards and reports. What is the kind of information I can expect as a CIO after deploying DigitalXForce?
So look at two dimensions to make it more practical. When you take a loan from a bank, they look at your credit score. And that's not static.
Yeah.
Every month you will get a notice like your credit score went up or down, factors this and this, right? The same way, the CXOs require the risk dashboard because none of the environment is static. You're commissioning, decommissioning new technologies, infrastructure, network every day. You're relying on the third-party supply chain. You're onboarding new third parties and stuff every day. You're like really going in and leveraging the power of AI, which is not in your control. Look at all these different dimensions that you're really talking about. Anytime things change or any misconfigurations happen, what happens? The element of risk gets introduced.
True.
If I was really doing my health score, I'd really want to see like, if there's some parameters on a daily basis or weekly basis that go out of the norm and be alerted. This is exactly what the executives want to see, because they really care or should care in the digital ecosystem. I cannot have a liberty of, having the risk of dismantling or getting an exposure, while I still have to deliver my compliance outcomes. So when you can like marry them together in one process,
That's why you guys.
on two butts,
Yeah.
why won't you really do that? And that's what the CXOs, when they see the dashboard, they really want to see the health check of the ecosystem. They really want to see if any new risk dimension got introduced due to XYZ. They want to proactively be alerted when that happens so that they can take a preemptive action, not after the fact when somebody is reporting, because by the time it's too late. This is what I really feel like the dashboard, the purpose of dashboards and alerting mechanism should be, to really bring that leverage of risk while giving you like the outcomes you're looking for: compliance, audits, posture, what's the scores and stuff look like, but all dynamically created.
So when we're looking at risk over here, are we looking at the risk from the perspective of a technology or a process or an individual with digital X-Force?
People, process, technology, and governance across all dimensions. You're talking about all. You cannot leave one without other. I might have the best technology, but the people who compromise you all day long doesn't help. I might have the best people and the best talent and the best technologies, but my processes are out of whack. I might have all good people, all great processes, and wonderful technology, but nobody knows what to do with all that. The governance is all out of whack. Doesn't matter. Your risk is coming from all different effects.
Lalit, I can think of a use case that once people come to events like GITEX, they are intrigued by a lot of technology, but once they buy those solutions don't work. How does Digital X-Force cover that gap?
So you're talking about the technology we buy in our day-to-day life, Pankaj, how much we buy the stuff that sits in the garage all the time.
Yes.
Because we buy because, oh, that's great, but then we don't know how to operate it. Fundamental problem, right?
True.
Number two problem is, we all know like a lot of these things get bought because people are pushing like, the shiny object syndrome, what do I call it? People show you all the shiny objects. Oh, drop this, drop that, and everything. Great, we bought it, but we never knew what the game plan was. So multiple factors that we really see. But what we have seen the most common usage is, just because something is deployed doesn't mean it's deployed right. Just because we bought something doesn't mean like I really covered all aspects. I didn't optimally use all of that. The platform like DigitalXForce, because it connects the power of doing the real-time continuous risk assessments or compliance management, is to be the power of connectivity. So when you connect to the systems, not only we can do the control testing for the compliance, not only can we really do the posture management for you and derive the risk, but we can also look at if the platform is deployed the way it should be deployed. Are the misconfigurations there? So we can notify you that. We can even tell you like whether you have optimally leveraged the platform, the ROI out of that. Yes, because if I have 10,000 assets that should be protected by this technology, I only see 5,000. Now I can tell you there are 5,000 sitting outside this one, which you did not have that awareness. So the platform really is able to bring that visibility in a unified fashion while giving the outcomes of risk management, posture management, compliance management, and enhancing your ROI.
So let's say I come to Dr. Ahluwalia's clinic and I tell him that, Lalit, I have an overstack of technologies and I love Digital X-Force. How can you help me optimize this stack and reduce my operating expenditures?
So the platform really looks at all different dimensions. It helps you prioritize the risk as well. Because of the connectivity, it also tells you usage. Let's say there's something that's sitting there, but you never even use. It can help you like, okay, do you really need it? Or if you're suboptimally using it, you should maximize that while you're duplicating another technology because of the visibility now. So it definitely helps you like maximize ROI also, remove redundancies in the mix.
There are a lot of technologies which give similar outputs. Let's say I have an X technology which does 3 things. There is another X technology which does 5 things, which could be, couple of them could be overlapping. Do you help me in identifying which one is better for me?
Absolutely, it does. But also understand why that has happened. A lot of organizations go to mergers and acquisitions. Company A might have technology A and the company B had technology B for the same function, but in just acquisition, you cannot just sunset.
True.
Right? The point is not that you have two technology. The point is, are they now integrated with each other to bring the results you want? The point is like, are these two technologies still optimally set up to do that? So the short answer, yes. The platform will give you the visibility. But again, ultimately, what I started the whole conversation with, why do we do cybersecurity?
True.
If you cannot derive the risk outcome from there, it really doesn't matter what technology I'm bringing, which tool I'm bringing. It's not meaningful enough.
We were talking about escape rooms and simulations just before the start of this podcast. How are you guys related to that?
So when I started the journey with DigitalXForce, to be honest, my career has been primarily consulting career, cybersecurity, 22 years between PwC, Deloitte, and Accenture. It really came to a point where cybersecurity really became more a passion, and then came around the mission and the purpose. This journey is not defined by let me set up another business, and retire after making millions of this one. The goal is very simple. I think this field of cybersecurity has allowed me to which we all ask question at some point in our lives. What's my legacy that I want to leave behind?
What's my purpose?
What's my purpose? And I really feel this has given me a purpose to do this. I told you about how organizations need to manage risk. Are your kids, when they go to Instagram and social media, not having risk when they interact with the social media now?
They do.
Are your parents not really buying things from Amazon or online shopping stores? Are you not going to be part of that self-drive, that new digital ecosystem? Take everything. It's a day-to-day impact now that we all living through. From the physical security, when we were growing up, people will teach us, don't talk to strangers. Don't touch the things which are lying out there. When you cross the road, look left, right, center. Tell me how much digital ecosystem is taught to you. The digital safety, not much. Yeah. The whole XForce Galaxy, which is where we bring in this immersive cyber escape experiences, is to really take this textbook formatted and tabletops and other things to make it more immersive live experiences. So you understand, number one, why cybersecurity matter, what risks you're taking when you're doing those things. So bringing experiences like AI takeover, smart city siege, ransomware highs, you can now mimic, but in a very playful, immersive experience, just like you're sitting in a movie theater, watching a movie versus reading a book. Similar experiences. So that when you come out of that, we don't have to educate you anymore. You understand. And those things stick with you. Next time, you're not clicking on an email because when I did that, this is what happened. That sticks with you in your memory now. And the goal is that XForce Galaxy should be everywhere in every part of the world. So we're starting in Dallas, Texas. But the goal is for Dubai and Riyadh and Houston and everywhere. Because everyone needs to go through those experiences. Whether you're 80-year-old, whether you're 80-year-old. It matters.
And how exactly can we experience this digital XForce?
Take a ticket to Dallas, come home, there. But as we are starting, that's our first XForce Galaxy. The plan is starting next year, we'll have this rolled out as franchises across the world. So there will be this XForce Galaxy is coming near to your home cities or wherever you are. That's our plan. Because it's a mission for us. When I say it's not more just a business, about mission. And the mission is very simple. Bring this cyber education, cyber awareness, immersive experiences, educate people from the get-go, the threats, the risk of a digital ecosystem and how to really secure yourself ahead of time by bringing the XForce Galaxies to everyone. And by the way, we proudly call ourselves the guardians of the XForce Galaxy. Everyone who works, whether it's Digital XForce, whether it's XForce Galaxy, we call ourselves all guardians because it's a mission. It's not a job. Everybody has a role to play and protect this new galaxy that we're living in.
So have you always been a Marvels fan, or where did this digital XForce thing come into the being?
I think I'm a fan of everything, to be honest. If you look at AI, and there's with AI Shivai.
Yeah.
Now, the things there's a reason why they exist. I think it's experiences that have accumulated over the years of over the time, right? When you're looking something futuristic, ask yourself a question, right? You've been watching Disney movies, Star Trek, Star Wars, something futuristic. What comes to your mind?
The Force, the Guardians.
Exactly. When you looking, if you remember, may the Force be with you.
Yes.
What was the purpose of that? Now we're living in the digital ecosystem. We always call may the XForce be with you.
I love this line. May the XForce be with you.
But we don't want it to be superficial. You want you to be the XForce dev yourself. Our job is to enable you to become one. So that's what I'm saying. What you will see, like what's difference between DigitalXForce and XForce Galaxy versus technology, security technologies. We are not one of those businesses that it's there to run a business as a business. Our clients, our community that work with us, they know we are committed to really redefine this future of cybersecurity. We are committed to really bring this cyber resilience inside out for them, no matter what it takes, at what cost it comes.
Lalit, I want to talk about I Trust XForce because what you are mentioning over there, I haven't heard anyone in the industry talk about this since the last 15 years.
Yeah.
How come this special initiative? And if you want to explain that initiative for our end customers.
So I told you, like, DigitalXForce is a technology platform, XForce Galaxy immersive experiences. My whole career has been consulting space. Most of our consulting has been like, okay, let me come, I'll charge you X hours, X rate and everything. I'll do something, I'll hand it over to you, and I'm gone.
Yes.
This has been a typical consulting. Now, the question I ask, if I was in the other end, did I really get the value? Did I get the outcome? Or I just paid someone X hours to do this? Let's say you brought a builder. You're expecting a house that will be handed over to you as an outcome. When you go Uber ride, you're expecting a ride from A to B before you get paid. Outcome delivered. It's no different here. The whole notion of I Trust XForce was when people like really want to get cybersecurity services, they should not be bombarded with like this and like whether it brings a value or not bring value. We thought through from our experiences what the outcomes are being needed. We commit to those outcomes. And if the outcomes are delivered is when you are paying for that outcome. The reason why we are able to do that because we know what we do. We know what we offer to the clients. So we have that high level of confidence in what we're delivering. And we package those things in an outcome-based format. Also, I will say like I Trust XForce now is a supporting cast to our global SIs, where they're taking our DigitalXForce platform or other technologies, but where the clients really need some direct help or like our partners need support. So I Trust XForce offers those services in an outcome-driven format to these partners and the clients.
Every time a customer buys a solution, they are looking for those early wins to ensure that the investment that I've done, I can show it to my board members. Yes, it works. What is that early win I can expect after purchasing this solution?
You're sitting here, my early win is tell me my health score. I'm gonna point like thermal, like your temperature is this. You're good. Your fever is in check. I want to touch for something like your blood pressure is this. This is a quick win. Knowing some of the parameters that matter, like a parameter.
True.
Then comes the detailed analysis. Is like what's the second step and the third step and the fourth step. So what I'm saying is we kind of like positioned same things across the board. Where what's my quick win? The outcome delivered. Now let's build on this outcome to build the second one. And you get deeper and deeper. So there's a thought through approach.
This is the graph we are expecting that every day your health score is improving.
Correct.
And I can show it to my board that on January 1, my health score was
This.
C negative.
Right.
And on 31st of December, it is A positive.
Exactly.
And that's where my investments are going.
Investments are working. And this is where DigitalXForce platform really enables you. When you're doing all the services, ultimately they come into DigitalXForce. Now I can see my multi-factor authentication was supposed to be 95%, was 90%. Yes, now I achieved 95%. My patching of systems was not at par, now is at par. This is how things come together for us.
In a world full of AI conversations and data, you guys are changing the way people are looking at these two lenses. How do you think it is going to benefit the end customers in 2026?
See, the reality of is AI is here to stay, just like internet. This is the need of the hour, and enabler is introduce something like, okay, I could this task like in X hours, now I can do only X minus Y hours now. So you have to adapt to and leverage. But along with that comes the risk of doing it. The way we look at AI is number one, enable the functions of our own technology, our own services to become more productive, more awesome. But when I mentioned like the dimensional risk we're touching, now when you bring AI, is also introducing dimensional risk. Anything that introduces risk, we're touching through the DigitalXForce. So even the AI you're using, we're now able to manage risk of that AI.
Wow.
So we're joining the two hands together. Security for AI and AI for security.
Amazing.
That's how we see this.
Spire Solutions has started this platform called Spire Connect, where we are trying to make conversations around innovation. And you've been part of this conversation for the last 30 minutes. What do you have to say about this platform where we are talking technology?
The innovation needs no captivity. It needs to be like taken and broadcasted everywhere. The forums like this, Spire Connect, I really see the means to share, exchange ideas with the broader audience, to really promote and support, like not just what you're doing, but make it like, the whole world aware of the broader reach to really enable people who really are thinking about it. Hopefully this will like help someone in some ways, this dialogue. Oh, why are we not thinking about this? Well, maybe we should like really reach out to these people, like to collaborate. This is how the world operates. Look at from the history how trade has worked. You don't work trading in your own nitty-gritty, you exchange ideas. Now you have forums like this to really exchange the ideas, reach the audiences which you will not be able to reach otherwise, and people to really collaborate and network with each other. That's I really see the biggest advantage. And of course, everybody has an opportunity to learn from each other. Innovation is no bounds.
Everybody has an opportunity to learn from each other, collaborate with each other. And that's the message from Lalit Ahluwalia. Do check out Digital X-Force and understand why I am so excited about the prospects of Digital X-Force in Middle East and beyond. And with this, we wrap today's episode of Spire Connect, powered by Spire Solutions. Thank you for watching.